Hello everyone, welcome to the final instalment of our Clarity Media Christmas Escape Room Puzzle Solving Challenge, December the 24th, Christmas Eve. I hope you're all having an amazing Christmas wherever you are. And just to let you know, we're following along with this book. You might have seen it before. Advent Calendar Escape Room Puzzle book. There's a link in the description if you want to find it on Amazon. And of course it is now December the 24th, so Christmas is almost over in that sense. But the book will still be available. You can solve it next year, you can solve it in January, you can solve it on Boxing Day, if you like. But anyway, without further ado, I will recap the plot for you all. So, Santa's missing. You go into the woods to look for him, and all you find is this wind-up toy, which is a red herring. You come back, and you learn that this elf Alvis is responsible. You confront Alvis, but he outwits you and pushes you into the automatic present wrapping machine. Luckily, you have some scissors in your pocket and you manage to cut your way out. And that's where we are right now. So, you cut through the wrapping paper and find yourself in an abandoned room at the back of the workshop where it says, "Rejected gifts to be sent for incineration." And there's a present next to you moving around and occasionally uttering a ho ho ho. So you cut this present open as well and you find none other than the missing Santa Claus. He doesn't seem to care that he'd been wrapped up in the present for several days because, well, he is the incarnation of jollity. And he simply says, "Now you've freed me, we'll go and teach Alvis a lesson." So, you leave the incineration room, you go back to the workshop, and you see Alvis, who does a runner the moment he sees his boss, Santa. And as the puzzle says, you need to work out the name of the reindeer Alvis stole to run away. So your final puzzle, as always, I'll give you 5 seconds, pause the video if you like, see if you can solve it, and then we'll have a go together. Okay, right, what are we thinking? Well, as I look at this puzzle, I think... Well, first I'll look at the instructions, very important. Match each reindeer to its code name. So I know I've got to match these 8 reindeer to these 8 names, these 8 code names, and they won't be the same. And if I look closely, I can see that, well, 3 of the reindeer have 5-letter names, and 3 of the codes are 5 letters. And the same goes for the other different lengths. So evidently, there's a one-to-one match with word lengths, beg your pardon, and they've just somehow been encoded. And as you can see, let's say there are 2 5-letter reindeer, Comet and Cupid. There are 2 5-letter which both start with C, and there are 2 5-letter codes. This one, LOCFJ and LZTMV, which both start with L's. So you can say, well, actually, if there's a code going on, it's a consistent code. So L is always going to equal C. And basically, once you've worked all this out, you can work out at the bottom the name. You can decode the name of Alvis's reindeer. So what we actually have here is a cryptogram, and many of you may have solved cryptograms before. The premise is that every letter of the alphabet is reassigned to another letter, and there isn't rhyme or reason to it. It's not like every letter is moved on 2 spaces or moved back 1 space. You simply have to work it out by thinking, well, this word, let's say, if it's 1 letter, it has to pretty much be I or A, and use that, and use the whole sentence to eventually make breakthroughs which let you get whole words, and then that lets you get other words. Although in this case, the cryptogram isn't a block of text, it isn't a paragraph, it's just several names. But because we already have the translations, it's significantly easier than cryptograms can be. So, how do I get into this? First I look and I think, well, as I've said, I know that L is C. But I don't yet know which of these L 5-letter codes is Comet and Cupid. So I'll take another tack and I'll look for ones which end MW. You've noticed there are 4 ending MW and there are 4 reindeer ending ER. So MW is clearly ER. And then if you look, Prancer is the only ER reindeer which doesn't start with D. So JMW, 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 CMW. So we can instantly say, well, Prancer is this one at the bottom. And now we know that, we can go a bit further and we can say, there are many, many ways to work this out because it's a letter combination puzzle. Donna has a repeating N. So of the J's, which one has a repeating letter? It is the PP here. So this one, JZPPMW, is Donna. And now Dasher and Dancer, well, we know, for instance, that the... how could we work this out? Do we have an S yet? We do have an N. So we know from Prancer, the fourth letter, N must be P. So the one with a P in has to be Dancer, which is this one here. So this is Dancer. Dasher, therefore, is the remaining one. Dasher is JYKQ. Okay. Blitzen is a bit of an odd one out. Blitzen is 7 letters long and doesn't end in ER, which means it pretty much has to be this one at the top. That's fairly easy. I'll do that and loop that around like so. And we just now have to determine Vixen. 5 letters, can't start with L because L is C. So Vixen has to be this one here. And lastly, which is Comet, which is Cupid? Well, Comet has an E in it, which we know is an M. So it has to be this one here, LZTMV. Whereas Cupid is going to be the remaining LOCFJ. Now we have all that, we can work out by substitution the name of Alvis's reindeer. So ends MW, which you've already worked out, is ER. Next up is C. Well, there's a C here, the middle letter of Cupid. So C is actually a P. What else? There's a T. T is the third letter of Comet, so it seems that T is an M, I think. Yep. Then we have a Y. Is there a Y here? There's a Y there. Y, the second letter of Dancer, so Y is A, like so. V, where's a V? The last letter of Comet is a V, so V is T. And then finally a K. Second letter of... Where does that lead to? Third letter, beg your pardon, that's why I got myself confused. The K is the third letter of Dasher, which is an S, so it's Stamper. So the reindeer is called Stamper. I'll write that in the bottom here. And since that's not quite the end of the book, I'll just turn over and show you the epilogue. No more puzzles, though. Santa calls the reindeer's name, Stamper, and it flies back to him. Alvis is captured, and he is put on trial, so to speak, in as far as one can be put on trial in the North Pole, and his punishment is to make more toys, which, as it's what he did anyway, that's okay, I think. Alvis got off, he didn't really get punished that badly, but Santa's back in charge. Everything is well with the world again, and the automatic present wrapping machine, the cause of all this chaos, is decommissioned, and Santa says he's going back to elf labour. So it's a lovely happy ending for everyone, perhaps except the elves, who have to make even more toys without machines to help them. He cries out ho ho ho, as he always does, and you have saved Christmas. And I have finished. So thank you. I hope if any of you did watch all 24 videos, let me extend a great thank you for sticking with us and enjoying our puzzles. We'll probably be back with another Christmas series next year, maybe another escape room, maybe a set of puzzles, I don't know yet. But it just simply remains me to wish you a very Merry Christmas and in advance, a very Happy New Year. Thank you.